pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got it?
Carol. And Kyle?
Kyle's not here. Yeah. Okay. Consideration to approve the proposed agenda for the February 5th, 2020 Board of Directors meeting.
So moved.
So moved by Jolene, seconded by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration to approve the minutes of the January 8th Board of Directors meeting.
So moved.
By
Second.
Brad, seconded by Jolene. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Business Finance Report. Finance Committee report on the February 5th meeting. You're going to do that, I guess.
I'm more than happy to do that. So, state subsidies, the same report as every month. State subsidies been received and recorded. All 5 town subsidies were recorded at the time of the report. Operating revenues exceed expenses for the month. It was a 3-pay month, so you see a couple of our net revenues decreased. Food service went more behind. There's a couple months of the year, usually July or August or January, where we do 3 payrolls, which is expensive for us. That's why that has gone backwards. That's completely normal. Revenues will catch up with expenses as we continue to receive state nutrition subsidy for food service. On a side note, that's the typical boring report, which is good. On a side note, we received our 279, which is our state subsidy report, and I hate to go on live TV with this, but it looks like we're up about $300,000 in state subsidy, which is wonderful news for the school district. As this board knows, and you've heard me with point of boredom, our cost pressures typically every year, raises, health insurance, that kind of thing, are $200,000 to $300,000. So we'll see. As an administrative team, the other thing you should know, we've met with every department head, every principal, maintenance, special ed, food service, going through everybody's budget initially. We will report that out to our school board and let you know where we're at and what we're thinking. You'll weigh in. You know the process from here. We'll talk again in March. We'll meet with our select folks. The board will approve the budget in April. We'll have a presentation. I'll get you all these dates, but just for outline for the people watching, this board knows late April, early May, we'll have a talk to the entire community, and in mid-May, we'll vote on the budget in the poll. So I want to let you know our finance team / administrators are on it, doing a great job reviewing everything to get a quality presentation and get this board's thoughts. So that's where we're at financially.
Any questions for finances? We'll move on to the curriculum reports. We'll start with the student report.
January was a fun-filled month in MSAD55 for the high school especially. After returning from holiday break, students were welcomed with the start of a new year, which was especially exciting for those graduating this June. At the high school, both the boys and girls basketball teams have had promising seasons and are looking to continue thriving in the playoffs. In the next few games, both teams will make their attempts at reaching to the top of their divisions, and there's no doubt they will do their best. The girls team has a record of 10 wins and 6 losses, with the boys following with 5 wins and 11 losses. Both teams have well represented Sacopee in the Class C division this season. On January 29th, Speaker Michael J. Chase visited the high school and spoke to students at an assembly about kindness. He told stories of his past to show students the importance of kindness and how impactful it can be for not only yourself, but others. Students seemed to greatly enjoy this and were welcomed after the assembly to speak one-on-one with Chase further. On Friday, January 31st, the high school celebrated the annual Winter Carnival and spent half the day competing in different games to win points for their classes, and ended the day with an assembly to announce the winners. Some of these games included dodgeball, basketball, and baking competitions, while other events were held such as guitar playing, Dungeons and Dragons tournaments, and a video game tournament, and those did not earn points for classes, but they were still exciting for all who participated. The wrap-up assembly included a game sponsored by the High School Student Council of Guess That Love Song, since Valentine's Day is approaching, and students all seemed to enjoy it. The sophomore class of 2022 ended up taking the title for 2020 Winter Carnival victors. Last Saturday, the high school's chapter of the National Honor Society sponsored the annual winter semi-formal dance, and it had a successful turnout. NHS members spent time outside of school decorating and preparing to throw the dance while also making snacks to sell. The gym was decorated with Christmas lights, and the lobby held a photo booth area, balloons, tables with interesting centerpieces that displayed the Hollywood theme. It was an exciting event as usual and wrapped up a fun month at the high school.
Any questions for Bill? Thank you. Curriculum coordinator.
Thanks.
Sue?
So we're excited that our juniors are currently finishing up their preparations for the trip to Quebec. We have applied for grant funding to continue that opportunity for the class of 2022, which we will hope that they'll be able to travel to Quebec in March of 2021. We're very excited for the first time to announce that we have a tie, or so co-teachers of the year. We went out to the millionth decimal place and it was still exactly the same. So at that point we thought this is a tie. So we're very pleased to recognize Stephanie Humphrey, who's a 5th grade teacher here at Sacopee Valley Middle School, and Bobby Jo Rand, who's our substance abuse social worker. So that'll be a lovely evening when we celebrate them, in addition to our education support person of the year, James Stanley, who is the high school custodian. And we'll also be congratulating Elizabeth Sanborn, who went to the state congratulations as well, to be recognized for being or receiving her NBCT. She's now a nationally board certified teacher. And we're doing that celebration on Wednesday, March 11th. We're very pleased that Larry Jacobs, who's the president and host of Education Talk Radio, is going to be our guest speaker that evening. So please mark your calendars, Wednesday, March 11th. We also are busy working with Junior Achievement, who's going to be returning here to do a presentation for our 6th and 7th graders on economics for success. And our 8th graders are going to be doing some job shadowing experiences in March. We also wanted to make sure that we noted that our Sacopee Valley Middle School Spelling Bee winner, Adriana Perini, and runner-up Gage True, both 8th graders here at the middle school, are going to be representing Sacopee Valley at the Oxford County Spelling Bee on Monday, February 10th at 6:30 p.m. And we're fortunate to be hosting that event right here. So it'll be a great night to see spelling achievement. We are also busy with pre-K registrations. We already have 18 students who families have indicated they are interested in our pre-K program, so those 32 slots are filling quickly. And we are setting dates right now for kindergarten registration, so that we're busy with that as well. A couple of other highlights from the school reports. So our Special Olympians were at Special Olympics, and we had incredible achievement. So 7 Olympians went, 4 for the first time ever. And in the middle school Alpine team, Derek won a gold in giant slalom. In the super glide, he won a bronze, and in the slalom, a silver. Abriana won the gold in the super glide and a silver in the slalom. And Michael won gold for all 3 of his events, the 10-meter walk, the super glide, and the glide. On our high school Alpine team, Carter won the bronze for the slalom. And on our middle school cross-country team, Abby won the bronze for the 100-meter, and Trevin won the bronze for the 50-meter and the silver for the 100-meter. So it was incredible. We send our congratulations to our Special Olympians.
Any questions for Sue?
Oh, I do have one more point. Just want to make sure, so our pre-K teachers have been very busy collaborating with the Bonnie Memorial Library and some amazing volunteers to provide a pajama hour for children. We're focusing more on students from birth to grade 3. That is Wednesday, February 12th at 6 p.m. where parents are getting some information. We're doing activities with the children. The students are leaving with books, so we would love to have lots of participation. So if any families are interested in attending, please contact the Bonnie Memorial Library, or you can contact the elementary school. We just want to make sure we have enough materials prepared for everyone. So the more the merrier.
Questions for Sue? Okay, thank you, Sue. Curriculum Committee report on the January 15th.
Elizabeth Sanborn met with us to describe Sacopee's Gifted and Talented program, whose mission is to identify and support students who excel or have the potential to excel beyond their age peers in the areas of ability, aptitude, skill, or creativity. In grades K through 3, individual needs that have been identified through assessments or teacher and or parent referral will be met within the classroom. In grades 4 through 8, the gifted and talented teacher, who is Elizabeth Sanborn, collaborates in a consultation model with the classroom teachers. Students are provided enrichment opportunities such as math team and project-based learning. In grades 9 through 12, identified students' needs are met through course placement, AP courses, independent study, differentiation, and dual enrollment. 17 students are currently enrolled in the Gifted and Talented program. Ms. Sanborn gave examples of elementary level enrichment, activities dealing with probability, geometry, physics, and literary devices. In 4th grade, students begin to complete research projects, study novels, and write. They progress through the grades with increasing levels of complexity and depth until by 8th grade, they are gaining financial literacy, undertaking a banking and taxes project, studying astronomy, sustainability, figurative language, and careers, as well as completing STEM challenges. In planning her curriculum, she is driven by NWEA data, focusing on students' weak areas. Principal Wolf then reviewed the NEASC process and plan. The previous 7 standards for accreditation have been reduced to 5 for 2020, and they are learning culture, student learning, professional practices, learning support, and learning resources. New for 2020 is a collaborative conference visit 2 years before the accreditation renewal, which for Sacopee is 2022. Our collaborative conference visit will be April 28th and 29th this year. At the high school, there is a standards committee for each standard, with the process managed by an accreditation steering committee. Each standards committee issues a report which must be ratified by the faculty. Ratification requires 80% approval.
Any questions for Jolene? Thank you, Jolene.
I actually do have a question.
Go ahead.
Is the board involved in that at all? Because it seems like we were.
We are going to be, yes.
Okay, the Adult Education Committee, report on January 13th.
So that's me, Arthur. So I was fortunate to attend the adult ed meeting, and the bulk of the conversation was around enrollment and drumming up enrollment and marketing. The NICE report, I think they're doing a wonderful job over there. When they look at their sessions and collaborative offerings, they had 81 activities with 442 enrollments in the fall for adult education. I know they're taking ideas. They're working on course development for the spring trimester. They're enrolling folks for the winter right now. Their whole focus and goal is on marketing, program updates, upgrades, trying to get grants. I think they're really working at trying to bring people in the door for adult education. It was a very positive and productive meeting. I commend their staff for all the hard work that they're doing.
Okay. Any questions for Carl?
No problem. Nothing. Nothing.
Lake Region Advisory Committee had no meeting. Facilities report, Construction, Transportation, and Safety Committee.
We met this morning. What we discussed the high school outdoor bathrooms, which has been previously approved by the Construction, Transportation, and Safety Committee. This will have to be brought to the taxpayers for a vote, so we'll be hearing more about that with the budget. We talked about the gym roof at the high school. After the January 11th incident, during a JV basketball game, the gym roof started to leak. John Cervantes worked with the roofing company, and they were able to patch the roof, but we had a lot of discussion about the condition of the roof and where we go from here. Betty Lawrence had discovered an article from Money Magazine about pickleball that was distributed to the committee. The meeting was adjourned at 11:15 this morning, and the next meeting will be on Wednesday, March 4th at 10:30.
Did you have any?
The roof?
I don't know.
Yeah, so the only thing I'll take Brad's question. It might be about the roof.
Go ahead, Brad.
Address it further.
Outdoor bathrooms, how is this differentiated from what was originally presented a year ago as the field house?
Sure. So the field house had concession stands, locker rooms. It was a pretty large facility. So through the work, input of the board, input of construction committee, we've scaled it dramatically back to basically 2 or 3 toilets and 2 sinks in a much smaller structure. That should be more affordable and more in line with, I think, board goals and
Do we have a footprint?
Yeah, so the construction committee has seen that footprint, yes.
Can I ask?
Yes, so
What is it?
I think it's like 480 square feet total. It's under 600, but because it's not attached to the school structure, that's why it requires a public vote. And we'd look to use fundraised dollars to complete the work, and hopefully when the time comes with public approval, go out for some volunteer help. Some folks in the community say, geez, if you did that, I'd love to come help. So we'll put the ad out and see if we can get some help and how far our money can go to get some working toilets.
So basically 20 by 24 or 16 by 30.
His thing is like 20 by 24, so to be quite frank, Bradley, they scaled it down and one of the sides doesn't have a dimension on it, but he's informed us it's under 600 because he was trying to comply with that, not knowing it required a vote anyway.
Thank you.
It also would have the possibility of expansion in the future if we wanted to add locker rooms or a concession stand. But that would be an entirely different process.
So they'll try and draft the vote such that, do you approve this, and in the future, through X dollars, this or this or this, so it's a one-time, so you don't have to bring it to the people every time, but the intention is only bathrooms at this time.
And we also took into consideration how much we spend on porta potties every year, and we would be not having to get as many of those as we
For sure.
would.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nancy?
I know you're gonna revisit the roof, right?
Yes,
We
yeah,
have
right, I can right now. Do you want me to do it right now to maybe
I
answer your
guess
question?
My question sort of is that the first patch that we've done on, since or does it look like, what is that, coat of many colors? Is that what
Okay,
that
so I'll let the cat right out of the bag right on TV here right now. So this is dangerous. So if the board could, I'm going to come back at the budget time and tell you more about this, but it's been 7 times that I've been responsible going like this through the basketball season. We have had tarps in our gym roof ceiling at least 4 of the 7 basketball seasons to catch leaks. To be fair, this season it only leaked 1 time, but right during a JV game, there's 200 people there. The girls couldn't finish their game. We had to end the game. The refs wouldn't let us play anymore, and we had to send the varsity game to the middle school. To be quite frank, A, it was unsafe for that short time, and B, it's embarrassing. You know, I think we're at the point facility-wise, we're all proud of what we have and what we've done. I think the gym roof is one of the last remaining things that, and I'm not blaming anybody over time, and Sue was gracious enough to give me the history, but and I'm not a great construction person, everybody knows that, but I think we had one roof, and then
Right.
instead of a roof in 67 or something, and then we put
Yeah.
another roof on top of that roof.
It's a flat membrane roof that was initially put in 66, 67 when the school was built. And then in 1988, we put another layer of insulation over that roof, and then another layer of membrane on top of that. And then we had the beam break in 2008, and then everything was patched from there.
So I
So
think
it's-
what
it's time.
happens is
It's absolutely done.
every summer we have roofing company come out and seal all the patches and put it, and they say it's going to be great for the basketball season, and then it gets hot and it gets cold and it gets hot and it gets cold and it rains and it ices and it freezes, and then one of the patches lets go and in it. I think it's time. So to steal the thunder, I think I am going to present that we do the roof this summer. And I'd already talked to construction, and we'll talk about how we're going to pay for it as a board and all those things. But it feels like it's time, and to be honest, it's time for the elementary school roof probably too as well. So, but I think this one, because the consistent leaking takes precedent. So we will look at replacing that roof.
If we hadn't had a thaw, it wouldn't have leaked.
So that's what I said. Hey, if it hadn't melted, you'd been all set. If it had just stayed cold. That's a tough way to live, you know? It's a tough way to live. It's been a problem.
We done with construction now?
Sue did great, yeah, I don't
You all
have
set,
anything
Sue?
else.
Okay, superintendent's report.
Just reading names for everybody watching. So there are some new names in yellow that I think Becky sent you today. If you didn't get them, I will read them now. We are going to have a lot of internal transitions. I got a call today, geez, are 1 million people leaving because of all the ins and outs and advertisements? That's not the case. We have a few retirements and a couple folks just basically moving, not going to different districts. But anyway, long story to say, appointment Cheyenne McKenzie Technology Technician. We've been looking for that position pretty much the entire school year, Ms. Day, yes? Okay, so that's we're thrilled that Cheyenne is in that role. All the next 4 you're looking at this saying, geez, why are we approving teachers? Those aren't new teachers for our board. Those are internal voluntary transfers. So what happens is we had a fourth grade teacher retire and 2 resign, which is coming up. So what we do, we post the job internally for anybody that voluntarily within the impact area would like to throw in to say that they're moving. So these are only internal moves per our collective bargaining agreement. Stephanie Loud is going from grade 6 to grade 4. Megan Vanderreet going from grade 5 to grade 4. Ashley Bryant going from grade 6 to grade 4. And Tara Lee Campbell going from grade 6 to grade 4. So you guessed it, now we have a bunch of internal openings for grade 6. So next month you might see another bump. Eventually, new names will come to this board to fill actual open positions once we do the internal shakeout. On the bottom underneath, and I'll get to all the questions, or Arthur will, resignations, Angela Point, Title I Educational Technician. Kelly Dyer, CNA. I believe we interviewed for that today. Mike Bernard, Middle School Baseball. Nikki Westbury, JV Softball. Nick Iricolani, Middle School Softball. And there are the 2 resignations that required the yellow up top for internal movement. Sarah Quito, grade 4, and Annabelle Wilson, grade 4. So those are the names, but I see a couple questions.
Brad?
It looks like we have a whole new staff at the 4th grade.
That's 100% true, Mr. Perkins.
I heard you say 2 resignations, 1 retirement. That takes care of 3. What?
So we had grade 4 is our current 3-class bubble because it's so small. Those 3 are going to 5, so it actually works out well. Megan Vanderreet, we had 1 too many 5th grade because we'll only need 3 5th grades next year. Megan Vanderreet actually wound up swapping from a grade where we only need 3 to the grade where we need 4. So the 4th is just a shift in a grade 3 classroom class.
Okay, so I guess I got to follow that up with, those 4 classes looked at as a team, correct?
Yes.
Okay, who's leading the team?
Well, Tara Campbell has previously taught 4th grade, so she does absolutely have some experience at that grade level, and Mrs. Vanderreet has had some experience at that grade level in another place as well. So it's not that they're all brand new teachers, and Ashley and Stephanie are veteran teachers here in Sacopee Valley. So.
In fact, Steph Loud's a veteran teacher here
Yeah.
at Sacopee Valley. So most of them have a lot of experience. They just, and some grade 4, they're just swapping down. In fact, Tara and Ashley are a team at grade 6 right now.
They are.
I'm not worried about veteran teachers. I'm just looking at coordination of the curriculum and so forth at that grade level.
That's why I pointed to Miss Day, Mr. Perkins.
There's nobody there. Everyone on the 4th grade team is leaving, so for different reasons. So this wasn't us moving. It's brand new. You're absolutely right. Except Tara brings lots of expertise. So.
And next month, we'll be talking, the whole 6th grade team is new because 3
Right.
folks have left 6th grade. So we'll do this again one more time, and eventually, we'll get to some actual people from the outside that you'll approve.
I'll ask it again next month.
Great, I'll be right here.
So don't they do, 2 people do and 2 people do?
Yes, we have 2 two-person teams.
Any other questions on personnel? Okay. Move on. Policy Committee did not meet this month. However, there is a policy we will be going over next week, so I will send that out to you folks. Other action items, consideration to enter into an executive session to discuss condition of property pursuant to 1 MRSA Section 4056C.
So moved.
Moved by Jolene, seconded by Cindy. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.